Hello, everyone. So, my name is Erica Bellows, and I'm a student here with you at Bellevue University, working towards my teaching degree in math. So, the application for Microsoft that I chose to present on is Teams. And I know we are all pretty familiar with Teams, but I wanted to show you a couple of things that, yes, we are familiar with, but we maybe didn't know how to get it set up because usually these books are set up for us. So, first of all, I just wanted to go over Teams a little bit. So, Teams is a really cool function because over here on the left, you can see all these different teams that I have currently. Well, these are different classes. So if you have, say, 3 different preps, which you could say maybe if you're in high school, you're teaching Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. But maybe you teach Algebra 1 twice a day, Geometry twice, and then Algebra 2 once. So you could you could rename or you could create your own teams and you could name them Period 1, Algebra 1, Period 2, Geometry, Period 3, Geometry. That way, for the students, it's also going to be labeled the same, but then they know maybe on their teams they have a bunch of teams from different teachers and stuff. So it's kind of nice to have that period 3, period 4, but it's also nice for you because if you have multiple geometries, it's going to be hard for you to differentiate unless you have it labeled per class. So that's pretty cool. But I guess first and foremost, I should show you really quick how to create a team. So down here on the left, it says join or create a team. Hopefully you see that at the bottom left. You click on that and then you just click create team. Label it whatever you'd like. So I labeled mine for this example. I did example teams, but you, like I said, could say period 1 geo or geometry, something like that. Perfect. So there we go. We've got our example. And we have this channel here. So I also created, I added on a class notebook in OneNote, which you can see right here. Now, I don't know if this is exactly how our teachers do it here at Bellevue, but this is how I found for it to work and actually work in OneNote. So I just clicked this plus sign and I clicked on OneNote and then I named it. I named it Class Notebook. I'm not going to do it because my computer lags a little bit and I don't want to take up too much time here on the video showing you about this. But then I clicked on it and then I had to open it in OneNote in order to get it to show up. But it does show up. Here it is. And I have both the General tab and the Homework tab that I have created in Teams. Because I also went, okay, so I'm going to explain the Homework Help tab here in a second. But, okay, so that explains OneNote Notebook and how you add it. So this is where you can encourage students to take notes so they can just open up their OneNote application and take notes during class. Maybe they want to take a picture. A lot of students these days take pictures on their cell phones of notes, and then they can upload the picture of the notes into Teams. Into Teams, but into their OneNote. And bam, it's in Teams, either one. Over here, underneath the General tab, so you have the Example Team tab, the whole shebang, that's the whole class. So that could be like, say, first period geometry. And then these are called channels. The General channel is our general channel. That is where you're gonna have conversations, you're gonna post questions, things like that. I'll get to that in a second. But under here, I created another channel, and I did that by hovering over the main title, add channel, and then let's call this, just for today, we'll call it numbers. Oh, I already had that one. Let's call this letters. Just for fun. We're just gonna do that. Okay, so what I was showing you before was I added a OneNote notebook into the homework help. And then I opened it. When I opened this up, in order for it to show up in OneNote, I clicked on it and then I opened it in OneNote. And that's how I got it to add. So the letters one isn't in my OneNote yet because I need to go into here and add in OneNote, type in letters, And then I'm not going to do it because it's going to see how long it's taking already. I'm not going to do it just a second, but what I would need to do is click open OneNote, the drop down here, and then I would just open in OneNote. So then it will add the tab, and it will do exactly this. It will add it right here under General and Homework. It'll add it right here. Okay, good to go. So how can we use Teams and to create a collaborative math environment? Well, what you can do, first of all, I'm sure that most of you know if you do the @ and then you type in, like, for example, our class is called Example Teams. This is how you mention somebody or something. So if I were to reference the entire class, Example Teams, let's say, if I can spell, what type of graph is this? And then I insert a picture of a graph, okay? That is an option for a way to collaborate with your students. So instead of only having the way that students interact be in the classroom together face to face, this is another alternative. So maybe it's a flipped classroom. Maybe you want to flip your entire classroom. This is an option. I know that a lot of you are probably either familiar with or have heard of Google Classroom. This is just another option to that. You can run almost everything on here. You can do video chats. You can do full class video chats. You have the option to create a meeting over here, and you can set up a meeting. You guys can do a video chat. You can do individual chats with just say 1 or 2 people. You can actually have up to 20 people in a private chat, 50 people in a meeting. And you also, the thing about the 50 people in the meeting or the 20 people in the private chat, only 4 of those people are going to be visible at a time. Everyone else is going to be here at the bottom of the screen. They're going to be like in a little bubble, and you can either see their profile picture like mine is here, or it'll just say how this says ET for Example Teams. It would just say like EB or whatever their initials are. So those are really cool features. You can also record lessons and upload your videos here. You have a file section if you want to upload worksheets. The cool thing about this and doing it in Teams is it edits live in Teams. So if I edit it in Teams and I add on there, so instead of like, hi, how are you? If I wanted to say, hi, how's it going? Whoops. Whoop. Something like that. So up here, you'll notice it says saving, 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 and then it's going to say saved. There we go. So now we know it's saved. Give it a few minutes, and if we go back into it, I'll show you here in a second what it looks like. But okay, a couple ideas. So you can post questions. You can post maybe extra credit or extra, not extra credit, but maybe there's an activity that everybody loves to do and they fight over. Who gets to write on the board that day? Who gets to collect papers? Who gets to stamp everyone's assignments or for completing their homework or something like that? So maybe first thing in the morning you post a question of who was on Jimmy Fallon last night, or something funny that maybe your whole class gets along with. Maybe it's a reference to a show or a game or just life. Hey, what was the temperature at 7 o'clock this morning? Something like that. And whoever's the closest wins, or whoever's first wins, and they win whatever it is. So you could do something like that. Now let's go back in here and I'll show you. Okay, see? Hi, how's it going? So it updated. So you can edit documents live, which is crucial. It's so crucial for, say, or it's so essential for, say, group projects and stuff. If I'm working on a project with somebody and they're adding in information, but I need to see it that night, bam, here we go. Okay, so back to posting questions. So I can post questions in there. I could even post, so I already have down here, like, what type of graph is this? I could post a picture with that. And then I would monitor the responses to make sure that they're constructive, positive responses, but people can respond to it. Hey, that looks like an ellipse. No, that's not an ellipse. It's a circle because all points are the same distance from the center. Bam. Constructive, positive math conversation going on, and it's learning for everybody. So there's that. And then Another idea, maybe you want to take a poll, take a math poll. Hey, how are people feeling on a scale of 1 to 10 with completing the square or factoring or foiling, something like that. You could post questions, comments, get people talking about a topic. Maybe there was a bad grade on a test over completing the square. So you want to post them out there. Hey, why don't you guys solve this question, come to class and let me know what you get, or something like that. So that's an idea. Like I said, you can post videos. You can, if you know you're going to be sick, this is where you could post your videos for the next day for students to work on. So that way, when the sub comes in, all they have to do is just facilitate and monitor that. You also can post assignments. So you can post assignments in the files section, or you can create an assignments tab that students can submit and then return. You can return to them the assignment return with the grade and or the marks on it even as well. So I was looking for a way to create a reminder in here because let's say you wanted to do a big project that you want to chunk for the students and have assignments due every so often, maybe every 1 to 2 weeks. But I couldn't find the ability to do that, but I did think of why not just set meeting reminders? So maybe they're not video chat meeting reminders, but they're meetings set up for, hey, your rough draft is due, your data is due, your visual aid is due, your final paper is due, something like that. So you could do reminders that way, or upcoming tests, upcoming quizzes, studying, reviewing, whatever you need to do with that kind of stuff. And then also, depending on their age level and depending on who has access to a computer or B, a cell phone. So hopefully most schools these days are 1-to-1. So hopefully you'll be in a school where everyone has access to a laptop. And if that's the case, great. You have this, you have that, and you have the access to Teams. Wonderful. Now let's say all of your students have access to it on their cell phone. You don't want to make it so that students don't have the ability to gain access outside of the classroom. If you're not given computers and you're not given cell phones, or the students don't have cell phones, most of them don't, or even some of them don't, then maybe this isn't the exact option unless you can get down to like a computer lab or something like that. Otherwise, if everyone does have access, great. So you can make adjustments to that and use it when you need to. Also, a really great thing is, so let's say that normally bringing your book to class isn't always necessary, but maybe today it is. Bam. I'm going to post in here, everyone, at example teams, make sure to bring your book to class today. And then also I could say and tell your friends to make sure that everyone brings their book or something like that. So I could post that, bring your book to class. Something like that. You can also over here, you can like it. If you guys didn't know this function, you can like it and then maybe make it standard for all of your students to like all of your posts to make sure who's looking at them and who isn't. So there's that. So Teams really truly can be versatile for your classroom. It's really, when you break it down and as far as the collaboration part goes, the best part about it is the discussion that goes on between the students. It's the discussion, it's the flexibility. We have these channels over here that we can make. So maybe we can have different groups going. So like I created this homework help channel, and this is just meant for homework questions. Maybe you have this other channel that's meant for group projects. So you have groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They all have their own channel. Each member is a part of that channel. They're able to upload. They're able to ask questions. They can ask me questions, but they can also ask each other, most importantly. Also with the homework, they can get their teammates, their classmates to help them with the homework. So that way they don't have to wait till the next day. They can ask the question now, which will also create that community classroom environment. The key is making sure we're monitoring it to ensure